Well, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Just wanted to provide an update on what's going on with the build. There's been quite a bit of progress made. It's been 2 weeks since we uploaded a video, and you can see from all the framing, you can see from the heating and air conditioning, you can see from the electrical and the plumbing. There's been a lot of work done here in the past 2 weeks. They're getting it ready to, actually got the roof starting to dry in as of yesterday. And some of that you can see from the drone shot. Marcia is here. Say hello, Marcia.
Hello. How is everybody?
So you are going to talk about what today?
I'm going to talk about the laundry room and a little bit in the dining room. There had to have been some changes made, and I assume that happens in most custom builds because Bill is always saying this is one of one. They haven't built this house before, and different people, different engineers are responsible for different parts and so of the build. And so we had to make a decision. If you come on into my laundry room / art room, when the designer initially drew this up here you can see our Lennox part of our HVAC unit is up here, and initially this ceiling was going to come all the way across, and actually that window at the top was going to be hidden from this room. And one of the reasons that I wanted this larger laundry room is that I like to do art projects and craft projects. And I'm always looking for a place for my easel. Right now it's in our garage. And so I'm having to move that around. And so when we were talking to the builder, he said, well, I don't have to take this, the ceiling all the way over so that you don't have access to that window or the sunlight that comes in it. He said I could stop it, and he showed me the most that he could give to me as far as space where the window is. I said, that is perfect, because right over here, this is going to be a large window, and right here, I have space for my easel, which will be perfect. I can pull this out, and I can have the sunlight coming in. I can turn it around a little bit, have the sunlight to my back. I'm very excited about that. So he thought it would, I think initially, that it would be weird to have two different like heights for the ceiling, but it's going to serve its purpose quite well for me. So, and also over here, we're going to have a closet, and half of the closet will be used for when I do laundry, because I like to have my clothes drip dry. And then the other half, the other side, we're going to have built in with shelves where all of my art supplies can go. I'm very excited about that, because right now I have to dig through bags and boxes. So this is going to be my happy place and where I will spend a lot of time. And so I'll show you what the builder came up with. Part of the HVAC, the units will be in another place in the house. So I'll show you where that wound up being. We got a call from the builder, and he said, I need to talk to you guys about something. And whenever you get that call from the builder, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what's happened? And so he wanted to split the two pieces, and I don't really know anything about HVAC units, but he wanted to split the units up for whatever reason. Bill may understand why.
They zone it.
Okay.
Yeah, they zone the house into two parts.
So part of it, of the HVAC, is now up here. And right here is going to be in the dining room. The dining room is right here. There'll be a table right here. I wanted there to be a buffet and a drinks bar, so we could set up when we're entertaining. whether we're having a lot of food, a big buffet style, or if we were just having, canapes and cocktails, we could set it up for a bar. And so I was concerned because we have this space that's designated, that's going to be built-ins. And I thought, what am I going to do with all this empty space at the top? So I said, wow, Tracy, that's such a good idea, because now I don't have to think about decorating or just the odd look of having this huge, tall ceiling here. So by dropping this down, the ceiling, I can do a mirror, and it's going to look much more built in. So both of those things really worked for us. There was also another issue that we had in the kitchen. While working with our kitchen designer, and the designer was working with our builder, they came across the fact that we had extra space on this back wall. And so the cabinetry had to be adjusted for that, which I'm exceedingly happy about, because we're going to get a wider space for our vent hood and sconces, which that's going to look much better. But then we had a little bit of an issue on this wall. We had a little less space than we thought we were going to right here at the sink, because on this side of the sink is going to be the double ovens, and that would require a pretty wide cabinet. The double ovens are 30 inches, so they needed, I think it was a 33-inch cabinet. And so it was going to push the cabinet too close to the window, and very difficult to get symmetry with the cabinets on the other side. So these walls right here and on the other side had already been built, and they were double the depth here. And so the builder had the guys, the framers, take out an extra portion of wall. And so, I think it's going to look fine. It gives us the width that we need for these cabinets, but we're not going to get this nice beefy depth between the great room and the kitchen. So there are just like little things that have to be thought through. And luckily we have a builder that has done literally everything in his career. And so he understands where you can do a little give, you can get a little take, or take and give, whatever. And he's making things work out. So, and I really appreciate that.
Let's talk about the fireplace. That was the other big one.
Oh yeah. Well, the fireplace has been.
And you can see from the wall, it's rough framed in. Just that happened, I think, Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been many discussions over this.
Yes.
But, you want to give a little background and just how we got to this point? So.
Yeah. Well, it was basically because Bill wanted a big TV.
Well, Marcia told me that my TV cannot be wider than the fireplace, that looks tacky. So I found an 8-foot fireplace, and we stuck it in there so that I can get a TV up to 100 inches, and I'll still be less than a fireplace. So, when you give me a challenge like that, we're going to find a solution.
So with the home having that contemporary feel, design, I wanted a contemporary fireplace, but my heart is kind of traditional. And so this has been one of the hardest things for me. I did not want it wrapped in porcelain with big veins and that kind of thing. We are right here in the great room. You're going to see the island, and it's going to be a quartzite, and it's going to have lots of detail and veining and that sort of thing. So I didn't want it to be the same as that. I didn't want it to fight with it. So we're just going to go with drywall on the top, and then we're going on the bottom, right across here. We're going to do a black granite wrap on that hearth box, whatever you would call that down there. So yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with the way that this is turning out so far.
And the other thing I want to point out is, you'll see the box in the middle of above the fireplace, about 2 feet. The builder took the time to build that in so that when you put the TV mount, we bought a fully adjustable large TV mount, and he's going to mount it to that box, and he's going to run electric and so forth behind it. And that way, that allows us to get a flush mount on the TV, because there's about it's a 2x4, it's about 3.5 inches that the mount will sit, the hardware for the mount will sit back in that box. So by the time you add a 5/8 inch drywall on there, the mount should sit flush or very close to flush with the wall. So your TV doesn't have a gap behind it. It looks kind of finished. And I thought that was a neat little touch that his experience kind of brought to the table, because I was thinking, well, we'll just frame it in and then we could just mount the TV mount to the 2x4s on there. But then it would have been sticking out 3 or 4 inches as they do. So that's kind of a neat touch. It'll make it look much more finished.
So I think that's about all we have as far as updates at this point. And
Well, let's take a walk through the house real quick while we're here
Okay.
to see if there's anything new that we didn't talk about that's happened over the past couple of weeks. It's been 2 weeks, so there's been a lot that I was explaining earlier. There's a lot done. Electrical's about half or more done. The plumbing's at least half done. The only thing left, I think, is they're going to run gas lines this week. The framing is done for the most part, except for any kind of touch-up stuff. Just to kind of do a quick walk around these rooms, but let's see anything offhand that I missed. Oh, there's one of the big discussion points we've had over the past week has been where to put lights and where to put special outlets that you want for different things. That you'd be surprised how much of a challenge that is. So Marcia's thinking through her artwork and pieces that she might want to hang where, and you want lights to accentuate that, or just maybe not artwork, but just pieces of something, mirrors, memorabilia, whatever. And you want to be able to highlight it. So you have to think about the lights, because now's the time you got to get them in. And that has been a little bit more than a small challenge, because you don't really know how you're going to decorate yet or what you want to do. So you have to kind of anticipate. And it's been a little bit of a challenge. I think we finally got it pretty well narrowed down. You can see that the plumbing continues to show that it's almost done. I'm just looking. He's got most everything in that I can tell. I think he's always got left, like I said, they're running the HVAC vented ductwork here. That started, I think, on Friday as well. The master bath back here looks good. Everything looks great. It's starting to come together. It's been a long time getting here, but it's starting to finally look like a home. I know this week they're trying to finish getting the roof dried in. I don't know when the metal's going to start. It's a metal roof on here. I'm not sure when that's going to start going down. Probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But we're coming into the monsoon season in the desert in the late summer. And you kind of want your roof dried in. Before they bring the drywall in, they got to have the roof dried in. So that's kind of what the goal is right now. So our builder took a week off, but he says he has everybody lined up. We're just ecstatic that we've made it this far this year. So we're trying to encourage him to take a week off and don't worry about this. But he wants to keep everything moving. So I think we're good. I can't think of anything else. So maybe we'll just close the video.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us. And we hope that our friends and family enjoy this. And if you're just curious about doing a custom build, I hope this helps. See you later.